Hello friends, hope you are well. Welcome to this week's Dirt Report tech and telco news from all around Australia and some international tidbits. It has been a pretty quiet week. Trump got a 2-year suspension on Facebook. Apple employees don't want to go back to the office. Melbourne is in lockdown, guys. Keep safe, you can get through it. New Windows 10 successor coming at the end of this month, and TikTok will now collect your face prints and voice prints. I'm sure you guys don't use TikTok. There are just some of the highlights of last week, but the world keeps spinning around and round, so let's go into today's episode and see what stories we have here. Today we have ACMA partners with the US FCC to fight Thanos. Tesla buys Australian candy. The gavel has fallen on the Vocus Group. NBN says no to HFC. Then on the international side we have Bill Gates to get nuclear. PayPal tries to solve and evolve, and Linux gamers in for a treat. Thanks for jumping in. Make sure to like this video if you did and subscribe if you'd like to see more content like this and other tech related news. Let's get started by rolling the intro. I'm always excited to see the Avengers come together in real life. In fact, when superpowers work together, they can take down the greatest of threats. This time around, it's not just Thanos, it's someone even more dangerous, darker, more evil than evil itself. It's Robocalls. The ACMA and the FCC have signed together a memorandum of understanding. I have linked the PDF below. I have had to link it via the Wayback Machine. For some reason, the actual site is down, so keep that in mind when you click on it. In any case, the memorandum of understanding between the United States Federal Communication Commission and the Australian Communication and Media Authority on mutual assistance in the enforcement of laws on certain unlawful communications is set to help address the unlawful automated or pre-recorded voice message, phone calls, and text messages. Now, robocalls and texts are painful to deal with, especially text, where more sophisticated attacks are able to spoof the sender's name and pop up as a bank, business, or even government entity on your phone. This agreement is more geared towards the sharing of information to track down those who do the naughty, potentially stop them, and work on technology to block such calls from getting to their citizens. Each year there are over 54 billion robocalls made globally, and it causes about 3.3 billion in consumer losses. Australia sees about $48 million of that loss annually. In 2020, 31% of consumers reporting fraud noted they were contacted by a phone call, and 27% reported they were contacted via text. The robocalls have a significant financial impact and mainly affect English-speaking Western countries. Back in December 2020, Australian telcos had to start detecting, tracing, and trying to block scam calls. If you are receiving a lot of spam calls, we may want to consider swapping providers. Some just do it better than others. The new code introduced by the ACMA was the first step in creating a barrier. Now the memorandum will hopefully combine the powers that be and go it from a position of strength, maybe on attack rather than defense. The FCC acting chairwoman Jessica Rosenworcel signed the agreement with her counterpart, ACMA chair Narendra Lachlan. We won't see any of the fruits of these labors for a little while, so here is what Rosenworcel had to say. Robocall scams are a global problem that require global commitment and cooperation. With these irritating calls coming from near and far, we need international cooperation, informing, sharing, and enforcement to address this matter. I want to thank our Australian friends for working with us on this agreement. By joining together, we can help get these scammers off our networks and protect consumers and business around the world. And in response, our ACMA chair, Narendra Lachlan, said, "Scam activity has significant social and economic impact on consumers, with the scale and sophistication of malicious activity increasing. The agreement will see us working closer with our American counterparts to crack down on unsolicited communications in instances where cross-border issues are involved." Let me know below if you have been the victim of robocalls. How did you fight them? Keen to hear your story. Let's chat below. Let's keep going. Australia isn't very well known for edible candy. Well, not as far as I know. Maybe someone can comment below on a famous Australian candy? And don't say meth. In any case, there is one thing Australia is certainly starting to be known for in this renewable energy world, and that is lithium. Australia's mine reserves of lithium are second only to Chile, totaling 2.8 million tons. Lithium extraction in the country comes largely from hard rock mining of spodumene, an ore that contains high levels of lithium, as well as aluminium. This week, Tesla announced it expects to spend more than $1 billion per year on raw materials from Australia to build its batteries and other components. During the Minerals Week 2021, Robin Denholm, chair of Tesla, said due to their focus on green energy, environmental, social, and governance policies, they see great alignment with Australian miners. Here is what Denholm said. Australian mining companies do have a great reputation, great expertise, professionalism, and are preferred by manufacturers, increasingly concerned about meeting both today's and the future's environmental, social, and government's requirements. Tesla is currently being shorted by Michael Burry, hailing from the Big Short movie, obviously in real life. Tesla is also having trouble hitting sale targets in China, so hopefully they still have billions to spend with us here in Australia. The demand for electric vehicles is not going anywhere. Tesla will not be the last to buy from Australia, so Australia can certainly find many other buyers of lithium ore. The only problem forecasted is that with the demand increasing, Australia's lithium miners' values are not going up with that either, due to the Chilean and Chinese miners providing the same stuff for less at higher quantities. Let me know your thoughts below. Let's move on to some telco news. The gavel has finally crashed in front of the Vocus Group. Sort of. Dodo and iPremise will now pay $2.5 million fine for misleading speed claims on the NBN network. Now, I am in part thinking if the damn NBN was not using old copper wires and following the broken CVC method, then maybe these guys wouldn't be in this situation. But at the end of the day, they did mislead customers, and it's not like they are special in any way. Other RSPs were in the same boat with lackluster speeds during peak hour. I have linked the ACCC announcement below, but here is what Rod Sims had to say. Accurate information about broadband speeds, particularly during the busy periods when consumers are most likely to use their service, is essential for consumers to be able to compare broadband offers and pick the best service for their needs. The ACCC brought this case because we were concerned that the methodology which the Vocus Group used as the basis for its speed claims cherry-picked only the fastest speeds its network could deliver, and ignored the slower speeds many of its customers experienced. This misleading speed claims meant customers could not accurately compare different offerings and make an informed choice about their broadband provider. The case started back in June 2020 and has taken just shy of a year to get a result. The ACCC argued that Dodo and iPremise used a fundamentally flawed testing methodology on internet speeds that came from their owners Vocus, which sounds like a fair excuse, but they must have wondered why their results were better than the multitude of other RSPs out there. What made them so particularly different? We talked about this last year, and even then it seemed odd. Looks like the fine that was handed down saw through those shenanigans. Speaking of the NBN, let's quickly jump into their current HFC problem. Just like gamers, even though Nvidia just launched the RTX 3080 Ti, it sold out immediately and the chip shortage continues. NBN Co is no different. Even if the HFC motors are not specifically used for gaming, they still use silicon chips. The chip shortage has put a halt on HFC rollout. Back in March, NBN Co said they will restart on the 24th of May, calling the delay temporary. The date came and went, and NBN Co has had to admit failure. The battle is lost, and now they don't know when or even if they can go back to connecting HFC customers. The question is, would it be better to drop HFC altogether and add those premises to the fiber rollout, or would that take too long? As mentioned a few weeks back, Gartner called the chip shortage to continue into 2022. Would you look at the time? It's time for those pesky international tidbits. Oh, and they are certainly bitty. Make sure to tap the like button if you like this video and subscribe if you would like to support us. And if you're interested in earning points to turn into gift cards for Amazon and Bunnings just by sharing your NBN statistics, then check out the links below in the comment and in the description to join the Nielsen NBN Research Panel. They also do a monthly prize draw worth $1,000 and you could win. And let's get into tidbits. Bill Gates has certainly been in the limelight this week, and not all positive. And if you remember watching any villain origin story, then this could be all too familiar. TerraPower has designed a small but advanced nuclear power reactor, and TerraPower is owned by Mr. Bill Gates himself and co-owned by Pacific Corp. That's not all. The nuclear power reactor will be built in Wyoming. Originally, the plant was to be built in China, but thanks to Trump, Gates had to rethink and build at home. I wonder what kind of movie you could make from that. Next, PayPal is finally doing something about the ridiculously slow speed of moving money from PayPal to your bank. Something I think DeFi crypto has already solved, but you know how the powers that are be. PayPal is working with NAB and Visa to enable instant or at least around 1-minute transfers from PayPal to a bank account. The feature isn't free, there is a 1% fee for the speed, and so it isn't nothing to get too excited for, but it could be great for the odd marketplace seller or Gumtree. Finally, Nvidia is bringing DLSS to Linux, helping Linux gamers hit high frame rates when they are gaming. It could actually be a reason to try Linux in gaming. And that's it. International Tidbits done. Australian stories late to bed. It's time to end this episode. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed today's news breakdown, and I hope to see you all next week. If you would like to be reminded of the next episode, make sure to tap the subscribe button, and if you like this video, tap the like button. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you all in another one. Bye!